Well, I've been with the media industry all my life, so you could say it's been a very boring career, but at the same time quite interesting, because to my mind, media is the most exciting FMCG that one can work for. Because unlike other products which more or less remain the same over the years, media is one product that changes every day. So for example, today's newspaper is different or is going to be different from yesterday's newspaper, and so on and so forth. So I think media could be or should be one of the most exciting products, and I've been, as I said, with the industry for over 2 decades now. I've worked with magazines, newspaper, digital, and now that media is going through so much of disruption, again we are facing some exciting times ahead, and yeah. Media by nature has to be bold and has to be, courageous. But you're right that sometimes we do face certain aspects which are, I would say, challenging. The best method for crisis management is to be true, to be honest, but at the same time react in a very timely way. And that's the best approach any brand or any product can take. So you have to really anticipate what can go wrong if you are doing something bold and innovative. Have some kind of plan B, and be sure to execute that quick and be transparent in that. Well, yes, because of the kind of connectivity, the kind of, I would say, access that consumers have with the smartphones and even digital, e-commerce is gaining momentum. But one factor that most of the e-tailers miss out is an organic traffic. I would reach out to an e-tailer or an e-commerce site when there is a need. But what happens in all those times when I don't have a need? And that's where I think e-commerce sites have to invest a lot in getting that organic traction. And one way that they can do this is by investing in content, because that is one thing that really attracts consumers. Products may attract when they require to buy them, but content is something that will attract them time and again. I would say marketers are now looking at publishers much more closely in terms of partnerships. Earlier, I guess it was more of a transactional relationship. Now it is becoming much more deeper and more of a partnership approach, because marketers have realized that publishers and publishing brands can bring a lot more to the table than just eyeballs. Because as I said earlier, brands would look at magazines, newspapers, video channels, or even websites purely as a platform to reach out to consumers. Now they realize that the content and the engagement that these brands bring to the table makes it a much more partnership kind of an approach. And that's one major difference that the brands are now doing in terms of the way they look at media. The biggest lesson that I think any marketer should learn or imbibe would be to understand the brand purpose and align whatever he does or whatever she does to that brand purpose. Everything else would be gimmicky, would be more of a tactic. But if you understand what the brand stands for and actually orchestrate the whole journey towards reaching that brand promise, that's one thing every brand marketer should look at. Well, data is extremely important for a publisher, because that is our core. That is the single most asset that the publisher owns, because whatever content we generate has to reach out to the right target audience, has to reach out to the right profile of people. So data is becoming much more important to a publisher than any other, I would say, brand. And it's becoming very interesting in this day and age when we are able to sub-segment, go hyper-local. So data is becoming a lot more, I would say, challenging, at the same time much more enriching. Well, at the Vibe Marketers Fest, I would be covering something that we think is very innovative and new, but actually it's a very, very old platform, which is native advertising. There is a misconception that native advertising is a very new innovation that marketers and publishers have discovered. But if you actually go back in history, native has been there for ages. And I would share some experiences and some examples which might really, really surprise brands.